He might not be from Krypton, but he's heads above the rest. His knowledge can't be questioned. You can put it to the test. So if you want to hear the truth and have nowhere else to go, I'll give you the solution. Just tune into his show and just kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod. Kneel before Zod.
All right, so welcome everybody to the Phantom Zone. This is my non-spoilers, no spoiler video. So anybody who rewatches it, don't be that asshole and leave a comment in the comment sections directly spoiling this movie. I will have a spoiler discussion later on with somebody else where you can do that. But for right now, if you've already seen the movie, don't come in here spoiling anything. This will be a very vague, general description of this movie, my overall thoughts and feelings, and if I feel it's worth people checking out before they buy their tickets. So, I was going to do this last night. I was talking it over with my buddies at the movie, and I found out I actually am not allowed to review a movie until Thursday. I can't, even if I see it Wednesday going into Thursday, I have to wait until Thursday at 6 is when the embargo lifts for us to be able to review our pre-screening. If it's seen, or if someone who knows me, who watches my channel, sees me do a review, I could get into trouble and possibly fired. Did not realize that. Good to know. So I had to wait a whole night, and I'm glad I sat on my night because boy, do I have a lot to say about this movie. This is going to be hard for me to review because the main issue with the movie is within itself a spoiler. But the best way I can put it is that if you do go to see this, the person you're introduced to in the beginning is going to be the main focus of the movie. This movie is very strange. I think only one other time I've seen a trilogy of movies that choose to do a ending and do something that feels like it should have been in the second movie. It's very fucking weird. Oh boy, I already looked at the conversation. People are gonna be pissed. I feel like this movie is gonna be like the Last Jedi of the Halloween trilogy, because I feel like a lot of people are either really going to fucking hate this movie or they're going to really like it. Me personally, I have no attachment really to Michael Myers as a character. I've always been more of a Jason Freddy guy. I respect Halloween for what it did at its time. I just uh, thought that it was a weird choice. So, as a vague synopsis, and I'm only going to say what the uh, synopsis says for this movie. If you go on IMDb, which is this takes place 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills. And spoiler for Halloween Kills, if you haven't seen that, why the fuck are you seeing Halloween Ends? But Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter dies, so she takes care of the granddaughter, and it kind of picks up from there with everybody putting the pieces back together. Michael Myers hasn't been spotted in like 4 years, and the killings just stopped. The positives. So how they handle Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode in this movie is much better. Halloween Kills really sidelined her, and I don't understand the choice. Like, I get it. In the first Halloween, she was injured. It didn't make sense that she would pop right back out. But in this one, they make her more of a fucking human being. And what I mean is, in the last Halloween, she had very outlandish lines. Everybody did. If you guys saw my last review, I hated that stupid phrase, "Tonight evil dies." No, it fucking doesn't. It doesn't die because I got one more fucking movie. So the fact that they chose that as the slogan of the movie was fucking stupid. But anyways, I digress. So there was no stupid stuff like that. Laurie Strode was really weird. She was a balance of badass of number one and kind of normal from the original movies. And Jamie Lee Curtis does a fantastic job. The daughter, I forget her name because she hasn't really been a factor until this movie. She does a very good job. The new person in there, the actor for that person, does a very good job. But I think that people are going to be confused because there's a story that is placed into this movie, and it takes about an hour and a half of this movie, and it's an interesting story. But the problem is, it feels like they put two movies into one movie. It felt like they didn't have enough material for Halloween Ends, and they shoved this other storyline in here. And then they didn't know how to make both storylines work, so they just said, fuck it. It's a wild ride. And here is my problem and why I didn't even want to rate this until today. I walked out not knowing how I felt about how it all came together. Now, just to be clear, there's going to be a lot of rumors flying around. There is a definitive end. This does end Halloween as we know it. Like, close the book. It's done. They end it. What's going to be the big determinant factor is if you like how they got to the ending they get to. There was a lot of leaks and stuff, and there's some truth in them, but they're out of context, and there's a lot more to what was leaked as always. And so if you did see the leaks and you're worried about things in there, I'd say this would be a movie you should go in and see yourself. It's going to very much, I think, depend on people. I think hardcore Halloween fans and those really weird purists that I've ran into are going to fucking hate this movie, which is kind of ironic because it does live up to its title. Halloween does end. Like, definitively, this is the end. Like, I walked out and there was no, like, oh, it's the end, but we made a ton of money and now we're going to bring him back. No, I mean, I'll give him credit. This is the end. There is no doubt this is the end. They do some pretty big ball plays. I don't know if it pays off, though. Oh boy, it's so hard to talk about because I think I'll be able to convey my overall feelings when I can spoil certain aspects. But they make a very weird decision and insert a very weird story. And it does go to what's going on, but my feelings are that it could have been a unique thing had they brought this up in the prior movie. There's something that comes out of left field from the very beginning, and you're on board. The issue that I have is what they choose to do with this thing that they tease throughout the runtime of this movie is almost like they used it as a device to get to the ending, because it's very much like you get to a certain point and then they just bam cut it off, and it's very jarring because it plot twists to something else and you're like, holy fucking shit, so why did I spend an hour and a half on this when you were just going to do this? And I think this is the problem with the movie, is that it's got two competing ideas. Both are well written. This is probably, out of all three of the films, the dialogue is the best in this one. As usual, the cinematography is good. The kills are kind of weak, but there is one pretty gnarly kill. But for the most part, this movie has two very good ideas. But they're ideas that, when mashed together, don't work when you get to the conclusion of where it's all leading. And I think the issue I have with this is it's a very weird choice, but I respect them taking a really fucking sharp left turn. I can tell you right now, whatever you think you expect will happen, you will not guess what is going to happen in this fucking movie, because it is so fucking far left field. Like, I was like, wow, so you're going this angle, but then it's like, no, we're going this way. And then it's like, no, we're actually going this way. I came out feeling like I was on a roller coaster. There is that term, off the rails. And I think by the second act of this movie, this film goes off the fucking deep end. The thing that makes me conflicted is it's not bad when it jumps the shark, so to speak. It's entertaining. There was a very few scenes in it that were funny that I don't think were meant to be funny, but the way they were executed were fucking hilarious. I don't know if the directors intended it to be funny. I don't think they did. And it was a really weird third quarter, like, switch. It's like, okay, it's like if your favorite team in football is playing a game and they make a bunch of really weird fucking plays, and you're yelling at the screen and you're going to the coach, why the fuck would you do that play now? But somehow they still win the game. Like, the story still ends how it should end, but how they played the game was really fucking a roundabout way to get the win. That's the best way I could describe it. Yeah, it was fucking weird. It was a weird choice. I don't understand if it was like, this is the final one, so we're just gonna go balls crazy. It almost feels like they did everything in Halloween Kills, and that the end of this should have been tacked on, but a studio exec said, hey, this is a 2.5 hour film. We don't have enough time for this shit. Really, this feels like, instead of a trilogy, it should have been two movies. It's very clear to me that they did not have enough material to carry the story they wanted to carry in this film. There was also rumors, and I fucking believe it, seeing the movie now, that this script was rewritten midway. And I have to say that it does feel like this script was a rewrite, because the whole first half feels like a completely different movie, and that blends in what this movie is supposed to be about, but then it takes a hard smack into the wall and just smash cuts into whatever Halloween Ends was supposed to be. It's fucking weird. Um, I'm actually glad there's a writer here in the chat. Because, all right, Jay, this is like, uh, yeah, this is really weird. You wanna talk non-spoilers? You haven't seen this movie, so I can send you a link, Jay. I don't mind having you on. Hold on a second. Let me just open up my Twitter. But yeah, getting back to what I was saying, this is fucking weird. I can't wait to talk this over with Halloween fans, because I feel like they're gonna be fucking pissed. If you are a hardcore Halloween fan, my suggestion to you, and this is the God's honest truth, I would see this on Peacock, because there's a very good chance you are going to fucking hate what they do in this movie. Me, I'm not the biggest Halloween fan, so I really don't give a shit. I came in with an open mind, and I see what they were going for, but I don't know if they executed what they were going for very well. And I'm sorry for the lighting if you're just tuning in. I'm not feeling good, but I promised you guys that we're going to have this review, and everyone and their mother is going to do a Halloween Ends review. So I wanted to get my non-spoiler review out before everyone else. I'll have an in-depth discussion with Justin Proper because he's going to see it. He's a bigger fan than me, so I'm really curious to see exactly what his feelings are. But yeah, my best advice for every moviegoer would be, if you are a fan of the franchise, like you're like diehard John Carpenter, and keep in mind too, John Carpenter fucking helped them write this, so I don't even blame that. But yeah, if you're a hardcore Halloween fan, I would oh, thank you guys. You know, I still gotta do my reviews, but I appreciate it. Yeah, I threw up today at work, so the unicorn forced me into the bed, so I'm actually in my bedroom. That's why the lighting is purple. But anyways, she got like a purple shader on it or something. But yeah, it's yeah, it is the worst. And you know, Books by Jay, if you want to come on, I sent you a link. It would be hilarious to talk vaguely with you about Halloween. I think this would actually fit because I want to throw something at you as a writer because I want to give you a rough outline and see what you put together. Let me put it this way: anybody who writes or does filmmaking, you could see immediately at about the last, I want to say, half hour of this movie, you could see like clearly where this was two different fucking movies in one. Bro, and here's the thing though. Folks. Here's the thing. Don't go like, oh my god, this is fucking terrible before you see it. You might enjoy it. Hey Jay, what?
Hey, I was really just giving you shit. You didn't have to invite me on.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's fun. Besides, we're talking non-spoilers. You're a writer, so this would actually help me.
Okay.
So, in your experience, does it ever help if you take two completely different stories and try to mash them into one story?
Funny story. That's basically where all of my books are right now because some of the books that I have been writing, I've been writing for 20 years and they've been redone over and over again. I think it's possible if you do it correctly, but it sounds like this wasn't done correctly.
And here's the thing that sucks. So, for anyone who's going to come out there, I've heard some people already saying this movie's not good, it's trash. That's not true. Technically, and dialogue, and in how intriguing the story is that has nothing to do with what we've been following, it's very good. I think the problem is a certain thing happens because I'm doing non spoilers. So a certain thing happens in the beginning. You can kind of vaguely see how this would connect to the second movie.
Okay.
So you're on board. And a certain oddball, out of the blue character we've never seen before kind of takes center stage.
Mm.
And in your mind, you're saying, okay, I guess this is where it's going, and somehow we're going to get to what I came here to see, Halloween End. So you're kind of along for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes weird because the story gets really interesting. And they introduce a certain element, and you're like, oh, okay. Because Jason Blum, being the brain trust that he says, oh, yeah, we got more Halloweens planned. Jason Blum, you're full of shit. I saw the movie. No, you don't. There is no fucking way you could have another Halloween movie after this. I'm just going to come out and say that. Everybody worried, and you heard that dumb motherfucker come out in the comments. There's not going to be another one. There can't. Logically.
Right.
I can't give it away, but let me just say, if you're worried they pull a bait and switch, no. I mean, it ends here.
Okay.
There will be no definitive doubt in your mind. And you're probably saying, well, Zod, Michael Myers has been blown up. He's been shot by SWAT people. He's been stabbed. He's been beaten. Let me just say, they definitively let you know, like David Green says, hey, guys, I'm done.
Uh-huh.
But my problem is, so like I was saying, so set person that's introduced that we never fucking met before, okay?
Okay.
Now you're on board with what's going on. He does have some loose connections to people we've been following.
Okay.
And things get really interesting. Now, you get to the last 30 minutes of the film, and all of a sudden, it's as if there was somebody in the back who said, hey, we still got to do this other thing to tie up these other two movies. And they just fucking cut that story thread, and the movie goes to its natural conclusion.
Yeah, because this one had Jamie Lee Curtis in it, right? And she was saying this was the last one she'll ever do, or something like that.
Yes, and it was okay. Jamie Lee Curtis, spot on, great job. Even new guy playing new character, great fucking job. I mean, he has a tough job because he comes out of nowhere and he's got to get you to care, and he does. Problem is that storyline's so interesting, and then they just fucking whoop drop it.
Yeah, well, this is why I was bringing that up, because if this is Jamie Lee Curtis's last film, regardless of what happens with the franchise, it would make sense, especially if they might have hope of extending the franchise again later, if they added this new person we don't know about. So in my author brain, I see why they would introduce this character, and
But here's where it gets weird, Jay. Because then, I mean, I'm trying not to give spoilers in this talk, but let's just say, cut that storyline off.
Right. So what I was going to say is it would make sense that they would cut it off, depending on the way that they did it, if they are trying to go forward. Because if this person does have, spoiling connections to whatever, it would make sense to, substitute them for some filler objects to get you to care, and then have Jamie Lee Curtis go off with a bang and then end it. But that's only if they know definitively that this franchise is continuing. But depending on the way they ended it, it almost sounds like they did this little like sidesteppy thing that could potentially have an open door, just in case it performs better than they think it will.
No, what I mean by they cut the storyline off is they closed the door with a foot.
Okay, and that's why I was asking.
Which makes it now confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Because they spend about an hour and a half of a 2-hour movie focusing on this one thing.
Oh, geez.
They get you invested in this one thing. You think that, and I can understand the plot twist of being like, oh, okay, so this is going to be this, but we're going to... But no, because then they make it so the thing they set up couldn't be a possibility either.
Jeez.
Which then, and I'm just going to predict this for moviegoers, and I don't blame them, they're going to watch this and they're going to go, well, if this thing was never the point, and I get like, from a story perspective, I don't know if you watch the new Halloweens, but they've had this running theme of evil and how it passes on and it can affect a community and eventually affect people's perceptions. And I get it, and the storyline kind of feels like that. But the way they choose to abruptly end this, and then they end the whole entire series with no possibility of there ever being another one.
Right.
It then creates this thing that I think is going to be a common thing in reviews, and even moviegoers who go to see it that are going to look and go, well, then why the fuck did we spend an hour and a half on this thing when it came to see this thing? And then you got me interested in this thing, but it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
So now, as the audience, you feel like you've been shafted one way or the other.
That is the catch-22, because realistically, and I'm being 100% honest, even if you hate this film, there is an ending. There is a definite winner and a definite loser. Not going to spoil it, but shit is resolved.
Right.
The issue is that that's the last 20 minutes. And don't believe what YouTubers are saying. I clocked it in the theater. It was not a 5-minute thing. It's like a fucking 20-minute sequence.
Right.
That part was pretty spectacular. So things are resolved. But what it felt like to me was either A, they didn't have confidence in their original idea to get to this conclusion, or B, they got too philosophical because they had the COVID time to rejigger the script. And maybe in their mind it played out than when they actually shot it. Because when I got out, Jay, there's very few movies, and you've seen me do tons of reviews and things like that. There's very few movies and I called Justin, and Justin said to me, okay, Zod, all I want to know, thumbs up, thumbs down, like, what do you think? And I go, Justin, I don't know. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, you're the most vocal person on YouTube. You do 1, 2, 3. I go, if I was to rate this right now, I would give it a 6 because I think it's above average, but that 6 is because I don't know how I feel about how it all came together. Technically, the movie did what the title said it was going to do. And that was my big thing on my review. People got pissy. I said, hey, it was Halloween Kills. Michael Myers killed a lot of motherfuckers. That's what I came to see. The movie gave me what I wanted. This is Halloween Ends. Technically, it ends. The problem is how they got there.
Yeah. Now it sounds like you were just like whipped around, and now you're like, I don't even know what is up anymore.
And this is my issue, and I think I'm gonna see it again. But this is the issue I think people are gonna come across, and I'm gonna warn everybody now. Go into this with very mild expectations of what you think is going to happen. Because I guarantee you cannot predict what the fuck this movie's going to do. I have seen many horror movies. And Jay, I shit you not when I say this was the weirdest fucking choice in a movie I've ever seen. Like, I give whoever wrote this big balls on that guy. Because holy shit, that's a big left turn to take at the end of the game.
Right. I mean, especially at the end of the day, that just tells me that they did their job right.
I mean, there's a difference between baffling people because you do some shit that's very out of character versus baffling me because it was good and I didn't see it coming. There's a difference. Oh yeah, I didn't see this coming. Doesn't mean it was the best move.
I like your comment.
You can have a twist. That doesn't mean it's good. M. Night Shyamalan.
Yep.
Like how many? JD Davis says at Mr. Zod's Phantom Zones. It sounds to me like they wanted to give you a story that you could see them building a sequel from. Then they yanked the rug from out of the audience, so you'd know it's over. That, Janie, that was better than I put it. Yeah, it felt exactly like that. Sean B says, at Mr. Zod, I wonder how many deleted scenes Halloween Ends. Oh, I wonder too, Sean. I will get the Blu-ray because I'm fucking curious. To me, you know what it feels like? It feels like they overthought their idea. They had that time off, and maybe the original script they had was solid.
Yeah.
But you got a bunch of really smart people, and don't get me wrong, folks, I'm going to be completely honest. In my opinion, I think this is well written. There's not bad dialogue like the last couple of movies. There's no stupid lines. There's no characters who do anything that isn't in their character. But it's just the direction they take is fucking weird for a final movie. It's like in a trilogy, right?
Mhm.
It's like if you do shit you were supposed to do in your second movie, but you do it in your third, and then you just end it.
Yeah, right? That's what it sounds like. I'll be right back. I gotta wake up my husband.
Okay, so yeah, it was a very strange choice. And Sean, I would be curious. I'd be very curious to see what was removed because uh to me it felt yeah, Jenny Davis. It's aliens, but if North Korea and bombing everyone to death. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Halloween Ends seems choppy in terms of editing at all. Like, was it an obvious cut? I haven't seen it. No. Here's the thing. So in this movie, Sean, the first hour and a half they introduce something, and then it hard cuts at the last like 30 minutes of the movie into what I assume is the how they wanted to end it. So it almost feels like they didn't have a way to get from the beginning to the end. Like the very beginning, the opener is really fucking cool. I gotta say, like when you walk in and you see this, the first 10 minutes of the film will say, have you go, oh shit, well, this is interesting. And then you kind of are following this along, and then and then it takes a hard left, and then it takes another hard left, and then it smacks into a wall and just goes into something completely different that I'm sure a lot of people wanted to see. It's very fucking weird.
Hmm.
I have never seen, and it's not even editing. It's not a cut or nothing. It's the way the scenes play out. The way the ending plays out, they rush it into something else. It makes sense to the story they started, but it's very like smash you in the face, like holy shit, what? And
Oh,
then something comes out of somewhere, and you're like, what? And then another thing happens, and you're like, what the fuck? And then the end, and then it just cuts, and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
jeez. It sounds very stressful. It's what it sounds.
When I got out, okay, how I can attribute this movie? A, do not go into this movie drunk. You will be even more fucked up by the time you get out. Do not go in stoned, because you will have no fucking clue what's happening. Don't take anything. Don't even drink a Red Bull, because your mind is gonna go 50 fucking miles an hour just watching it. I was stone cold sober last night, like midnight. Bam, I'm locked in, and my brain felt like it took a fucking uh, roller coaster ride.
Jeez.
Like I got out, and I knew it was coming. And they go to me, no, there's no post credit scene, so you don't have to stay. Don't stay at the end of the movie. It's hard cut over credits. Boom, we're done.
Which sounds to me, the way hearing you describe it, it sounds like it's very anticlimactic compared to the way the franchise has gone. It's what it sounds like to me.
It's like I said, Jay, it's a fucking weird joke. It's so weird. It's so weird. And I think there's going to be people like me who kind of don't know how they feel, or they're in the middle. There's definitely going to be a large group. I can't wait to see the Halloween community. There's going to be a large group of pissed off people. And then there's going to be people that I think over time this will build a following for what it does.
Mhm.
Because while I don't understand it, it's not done so terrible where it's not interesting and you're not engaged. Like there was not one point in the movie where I was like bored or anything like that. I was very locked in, and it was very intriguing. But then like it swerves 3 or 4 times towards the end, and it's in such quick succession. You're like, whoa, what the fuck? Wait, what? And then what the fuck? And then bam, we're here, and then boom, end. And I'm like, okay.
Like, what?
How am I supposed to fucking rate this? No, PB, it's not your ridiculous Batman 6 that I don't even understand how you put that movie at a 6. Anyways, I'm not gonna fucking rant about that, PB, because we talked about this. That's just fucking ridiculous. Anyways, no, it's nothing like that. It's a confused 6.
Mm-hmm.
Have you just ever watched something and you didn't think it was bad, but you're just like, what the fuck just happened? And then you leave with a sense of, I don't know how I feel.
Yeah, and you're not
about this
necessarily
movie.
unfulfilled, but you're not necessarily fulfilled. You're like, what is this?
It's like that, yeah, it's like that weird middle ground where I'm not like dissatisfied, but I'm not fulfilled with what I started. I'm just kind of in a weird middle place.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I don't hate them for trying something new, because let's be real.
Mhm.
Here's the thing. Halloween fans are funny to me, because if we're putting our cards out on the table, you guys hold this franchise up like it's a gold standard, and there's been shitty movies. Like, do I even have to bring up Halloween Resurrections, the worst fucking, not just the worst Halloween movie, but just a bad movie in general? Fucking Busta Rhymes doing a fucking back kick to Michael Myers out of a building, burning building. That was the low point for me. Like, that was fucking terrible. Curse of Michael Myers, the worst performance by Paul Rudd I'd ever seen. Yeah, motherfuckers probably forgot Paul Rudd started in Halloween. He was fucking terrible. He played Tommy Jarvis, I believe. He was fucking horrendous, okay? And that was Donald Pleasant's last fucking movie. What a way to go out. He was so sick he could barely shoot his scenes. And that man gave it his fucking all right to the end. Dr. Loomis, rest your soul. Like, but like, this isn't bad in terms of that bad. Like, even Rob Zombie's Halloweens, everybody gives that shit. I think they're good. Like, fucking brutal. It's just Rob Zombie can't write for shit. And it's not Jason X bad. Yeah, it's not Jason in Space bad. It's just a well-made movie that does really baffling choices. And I can't wrap my head around who sat in the writing room and thought it would be a good way to narratively tell the story. Because, like I said, the first hour and a half, you're invested in this one thing. And then it decides at the last minute that, oh yeah, we got to wrap all this other shit up. And I don't want to say it's quick, but it feels quick because of how quickly they jump into everything. And it's like, to some people, that main battle they came to see might feel like 5 minutes, but I clocked it. It's a good 20 minutes. And the resolution after that is a good like 5 or 6 minutes. And it just kind of goes to credits. And that too is a weird choice, because they do a particular scene with people, and then it's like a beautiful sunset and credits, and you're just like, what? It's so weird. It's so, I'm sorry, folks. The best I got, my review is, it's fucking weird. It's a weird set of choices. I don't know if everyone just took acid towards the end of writing the script, or if they got balls like deep in hallucinogenics and just tripped for 3 days, woke up and looked at the script and said, whatever, it'll be fine. But holy fuck. Same people directed Halloween as David Green, and the script was written or co-written by that dude from Eastbound and Down. I forgot his name. But yeah, same people. That's what's fucking weird. Same writing team. I don't understand what the fuck happened. The same
So
people.
strange. Well, I'm wondering. I'm thinking about what you said a little while ago about with COVID. It's almost like they had a solid script, and then COVID happened, and they're like, "Oh shit! What if this isn't good enough? Oh shit! Oh shit! What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? This is how we're supposed to be ending the franchise. What?" And so it's that's like, I wonder if that's a real reality. You know what I mean?
Jeremy Johns did a review, and it's kind of funny the way he put it because he did like a fake phone call, and he's like, he goes, David Green calls this random guy, goes, yeah, hello, oh yeah, yeah, you got a script for this, yeah, I got an ending for mine, but don't know how I'm gonna start it. Yeah, no, why don't we just take your idea and my idea and just make one movie? Yeah, nah, they'll be fine. The fans will
It'll
be
be
fine.
fine.
Yep. Cool. Good. I was like, with the way I'll see in the movie, I was like, that's fucking hilarious possibility because that's what it feels like. It feels like a totally different writing team for the first half of this movie, but it's all of the same writers, but it feels like a different creative team. And then at the end of the movie, the regular team came in and finished it up. It's so fucking weird.
So bizarre.
And I am curious. I am very curious for how the fans are going to react and for how normal moviegoers are going to react because this has been a pretty big franchise and a lot of people who just know Halloween have gone to see this. Now, from a perspective, like say you've just followed this one trilogy, right?
Uh-huh.
I think this is going to be confusing for them because you're going to be like, and the funny part is they recap from fucking John Carpenter's original Halloween, right? Into the new ones. They do a full recap in case you forgot, which I thought was a nice, funny touch. It almost felt like an homage to the old horror movies where they had 9 movies and they recapped it because people fucking forgot about, Jason 8.
Yeah.
Like they had one of those recaps in it.
Huh. Like
And so
I think I've only ever seen like 1 or 2 Halloween movies, and I couldn't tell you what any of them had in them.
exactly. So for like someone like you just coming in, they'll recap it and you'll be like, okay, that's what happened. I'm on board. But even watching the course of the movie, you're gonna look at yourself and go, okay, they showed me literally the recap of everything that happened, but I have no clue how this goes with this. Like, did I miss a movie in between here? That's what it fucking feels like. It honestly feels like 2 separate movies put into one, and it flows good for a minute until you get to the final bit, and it's just like they're like, all right, now we just got to do this, and it's like when I get into spoilers, and I can specifically say the scene where it takes that hard left for me, and I describe it to you, and you people go out and watch it, and you see, and you go, oh yeah, that's fucking true. I was lost because there's a particular point where this thing happens, and you go, well, if this happened, then the theory you had, right? Like, because Jason Blum came out and was like, yeah, there's going to be more Halloween movies. So then you have that in your mind, and then you say, well, if this happened to this that I thought was going to be the setup for what you're talking about, then where we go? And then, other things happen. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, well, then I don't see how you're going to do any more. Like, honestly, I have never seen a more definitive ending in my life. Like, it felt like David Green said, this is the end of my trilogy. You can do more if you want, but I'm ending this. Like, he gives you a fucking definitive ending. Like, you will not question if there'll be a sequel. I'll tell you that right now. Like, there's an ending.
Huh. That's so bizarre.
It definitively gives an answer, but oh my god, it's so fucking weird. It's so weird. That's how I can describe this movie, folks. It's weird. It's fucking weird. They said, I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes. Halloween Ends only has like 47. I don't go look. First off, Rotten Tomatoes sucks just in general. Okay, She-Hulk has like a 70% from the critics, and it fucking sucks. And the final just proved it. And I'll talk about that in a second because there'll be a big long rant. That fucking waste of time. But uh, this is a horror movie, and horror movies don't get high ratings. Look at any horror movie. Very few horror movies by critics, because they're so pompous and up their ass, unless it's like a horror movie that has some deeper meaning, like the Babadook or the Conjuring 2. They'll never give a fucking horror movie a good score. They think it's like lowbrow humor and that only the plebes go to watch it. Now, the audience score is what you want to pay attention to, because that's going to be fucking interesting. I have a feeling this is going to piss off a lot of people. But I also get a feeling, because of how they do the story and it's not bad, that eventually it'll get a fan base. You know what I mean? Like it'll get
like a cult classic type of deal.
Like a cult following, yeah, because it's not in any means bad. And that's what throws me off. Like, you know me. And we talk about this. My thing is, I can't stand bad writing. And that's the weird part to me about this, because nothing written in it is inherently bad. It's just structurally bad. Like, it's like, if you took this, put it in number 2, and led up to 3, then it would be a very interesting choice and probably work a lot better. But the fact that you shoved it all into one movie, there was no way they were going to be able to flow it into the end. You know what I mean? You were always going to feel where that hard break was. I didn't know that going in, but now watching it again, I'll know exactly where I hit that wall, because it's just like you slam right into a wall and you're like, what the fuck? So it's yeah, Sean, with the Rotten Tomatoes, you gotta be careful with those ratings, because besides the fact that critics are all biased on there, there's also the fact that just in general, with just reviewers who review movies, historically, horror movies have always been rated low. I don't know why. There's very few movies that'll get a critic to be like, I like it. Even my favorite critics, Siskel and Ebert, they did not hardly ever give a horror movie a good rating. Ever. It's crazy. Horror has always been in a weird spot. Yeah. See, 80% now. Just wait. That score's gonna drop. That's the pre-shows like me. I think once we get the general audience, it's gonna be fucking fun to see where that score goes. But yeah, Jay, do you want to say something to the folks for a second? I have to use the bathroom, not feeling that well, so I gotta take a little.
Yeah, you're good.
Thank you.
Well, hi everyone. How's everyone doing? I'm just gonna take over Zod's channel. Zod who? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, my daughter is texting me. Give me a second. So how's everyone doing? Has anything good happened to you guys recently? Anything fun and exciting? Let me know. Want to celebrate with you. As for me, we're just kind of plugging along, doing what we can do. I am still currently working, so I'm finishing up now. But yeah, so I'm having some things happening at work, and I'm having to put long hours in, so it's definitely interesting. Oh God, excuse me. But other than that, just plugging along. I missed you guys last week. Oh, Janie, I don't like it when you're depressed. My writing is going okay. It's kind of paused at the moment. Not much to report there. I've been doing a lot of thinking about my series and stuff. I'm gonna have to redo book 2 planning for my Terracotta Saga. So that's a whole ass issue that I'm gonna be having here in the near future. And yeah, not much else.
Yeah. So, thanks.
Yes.
It's been a rough one, folks. So, now getting to the good stuff. So, what's my rating? Because I'm not ridiculous like PB, I don't want to fall into that ridiculous Batman rating. I'm gonna do a 6.5. Depending on how I feel about my second viewing. This is a movie that I need to see twice, and I'm probably gonna watch it on Peacock so that I can watch Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends just to see how it flows together and then make my overall decision. And I will be doing a review of the trilogy as a whole and doing a ranking on all of my favorite Halloween movies. And I'll be including every Halloween movie. I'll be doing a ranking from one to fuck now. It's like probably 12 movies. I'll just give a brief reason why I've seen them all. So there might be some I skip in there because I have no interest in seeing The Curse of Michael Myers again. That movie's fucking atrocious. But I mean, I'm going to probably rank all of the movies and kind of, but it's my advice would be if you're a Halloween fan, probably if you have Peacock, watch it on Peacock because you're gonna be pissed if you spend like $20 and you come out of the theater mad. And I think that will skewer your view on what you think of the movie. I think my best advice, and I told Justice this last night, was go in with low expectations of what you think the movie should be and just kind of take the ride and see how you feel at the end of it. You know what I mean? Just like lock in on what the story is and take it all in and then kind of make your judgment from there, because I think if you go into this movie expecting certain things, you're going to be disappointed. Or if you go in hating some things you might have heard about it, you're going to be predisposed to hate it. It's one of those movies you just got to watch with a fresh pair of eyes and really just get lost in the movie itself and then see where you land at the end of the ride. And I gotta say, because I am in the community and I follow these so closely, it the first time I came in and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't read any of the leaks. So I was like, I was going in expecting certain things, and that might be where the unfulfillment came from. But if I would just rate this movie on just the movie itself, it's very well made, good acting all the way around. Even with this new person that comes in from out of nowhere is good. It's just weird. It's a very weird, out of place way to tell a story, essentially. It's very, very weird. Reading the text synopsis of the worst movies to jog your memory, it's less painful. Yeah, let me tell you, after watching She-Hulk, the final, there's nothing worse that beats that's been made so far. All I expect out of Halloween, yeah, I'd say lower those expectations. bring that bar down. This movie, there's kills, but I can't tell you anything without spoiling anything. So I will say, just lower your expectations. I will give them credit. Another positive. There's a lot of Jamie Lee Curtis. She does a great, like, she really balances both things in this movie, like the crazy side and just a normal person. And I think she does that very well. The granddaughter is neat. Spoiler if you haven't seen Halloween Kills, but the other daughter died and her husband and everything. So they handle that very well. Um, there's a lot of good themes in this. There's dealing with loss.
Oh, you have cut out. I don't know if it's me or you.
No, it was me.
Oh, okay.
There was another thing they do with how victims deal with tragedy and how they can sometimes blame a person who survived. They make references to Halloween Kills, and like some people are like, you antagonized Michael and we all suffered. I like those aspects of the movie because it does dive into, okay, that even if you like are the hero technically, sometimes people don't see it that way because the collateral damage affected their lives. And I thought that was a very good, that's the weird thing, they have a lot of good different how do I put it, themes. They have a lot of good themes that they use, but then the ending happens. So it's like I said, the message is good. There is, believe it or not, in a slasher, there is a positive message about overcoming tragedy and moving past terrible things that happen to you. There's a lot of things, if you look in the movie, there's a lot of cool messages that it conveys, and about how when certain things do happen that are quote unquote accidents, the people who have to live with that get blamed not only by the town that don't know shit about what happened, but also they have to deal with the family members and things like that. There's a lot of cool things they introduce, but it all kind of gets shifted at the end of the movie, and it's weird. So my final thoughts are, it is weird. It's a weird fucking movie. And go into it with mild expectations, because if you have sky high hopes, you will be disappointed or angry. Go in with an open mind. But for me, it's a 6.5 because I honestly can't I can't process how I feel. It's been a day since I've seen the movie. I've been sick and I've been in bed sleeping, and my mind's been thinking about it, and I still don't know where I land. So I gotta fucking see the thing again. And now that I know what I'm going into, suss out my feelings.
Well, I'm glad to be your emotional support partner on this stream, Zod.
Thank you, because surprise, I have to talk about the ending of She-Hulk. So because it's been talked about, and I didn't want to bring it up until I do my review, but I will be doing a review with Rashad about the whole season. But folks, I implore you, if there's one thing I can say, go see Halloween Ends over fucking She-Hulk. It has been confirmed. This is the worst fucking Marvel property I think I have ever seen.
I feel like I've heard you say that a couple times about this show.
So if you give a fuck about this show, click off, because I will spoil the shit out of She-Hulk. Because I got to talk about this final. This is the stupidest fucking thing, and I have No clue how high someone was when they wrote this, but I gotta describe the ending to you. And you let me know as a writer what you think. I probably should have put slashed my rant about She-Hulk at the end of this. But yeah, now an hour was Halloween Ends, and I danced around non-spoilers. So I'll
I'm
dive
very impressed.
deeper in my spoiler discussion with Justin, who will probably be furious because I don't know how he's going to take it. But anyways, um, so She-Hulk, the ending. So you know who the big bad guy is at the end of the show, Jay? Have
Oh
a
God,
clue?
who?
Doctor Doom, maybe a big monster, an ethereal something, some
Oh,
space wizard. Who, if you had to take a guess, who would you say is the bad guy of the feminist empowering She-Hulk?
oh God. I'm gonna lose my female card because I don't know. I'm gonna assume it's the space wizard.
Fucking fans. So the bad guy of this whole entire show is, you guessed it, us trolls on the internet who don't like the show. I shit you not. Trolls are the villain at the end of the She-Hulk.
Wow.
Marvel, what the fuck are you doing? What, what are you doing over there? Did the whole A team, the writing A team, did they take a break? Are they on vacation? Are they with George R. Martin writing that last book that I've been waiting for?
That's never gonna come out.
Because I shit you not. So this is what happens. Just to give you context, in the last episode, our hero hulks out and gets arrested for destroying property. How the fuck this happened? Don't know. Damage control says she has to wear a device.
Huh.
She loses her job, has to move back into her parents' house. She's been seeing Abomination because now he's a health guru guy and a self-help coach. Yeah, they fucked up Abomination. So Abomination's supposed to be giving a speech, and it's to the She-Hulk man-hating club, basically. It's a bunch of men. She-Hulk. I can't.
Can't even say it with a
Folks,
straight face, bro. It's gotta be terrible.
folks, this is why Halloween Ends is not that bad to me. Maybe my view might be scared, but after watching this piece of shit, and to go in to see this movie, maybe I did see into some things, and my radar's off because holy fuck. So she goes in, and the guy she fucked in one of the episodes turns out to be the bad guy. Surprise, surprise. He used her and posted nudes of her on the internet. Oh my god. What is a superhero to do? And then they have a big fight. And at first I'm like, oh shit. And the dude who slept with her took her blood. And don't ask me because they threw science out the fucking window. But apparently now anyone can use the fucking Hulk's blood and become the Hulk. Don't know when the fuck that happened. Because you had to be blasted with fucking gamma rays, and it was like his bloodline could only survive the process. But whatever, fuck continuity, because MCU.
Mhm.
And this dude turns into a big Hulk thing. So I go, okay, this is fucking nonsensical and stupid, but at least there's a fight. And then Hulk, who's been gone the whole fucking show on another fucking planet, jumps through the roof to help her out. And I'm like, wait a second, what the fuck is happening right now?
Jesus.
And then, and I'm not making this up. It's too stupid to make up. It goes to the Disney app, and I'm looking at my remote going, what, did I fucking press the button? And she punches through the Disney app and says she's got to talk to people about this. So she goes to the She-Hulk writing room, and they're all kicking ideas for the show. And she says, hey, why is this a typical Marvel ending with a big fight? And they go, well, we've been looking at the demograph, and, well, everybody wants a big fight, even if it doesn't make sense. And I go, holy fucking shit, they're really doing this.
Oh my god.
This is the worst meta ever.
So they broke the
like,
fourth wall and then decided to say, we're just going to be lazy.
She breaks the fourth wall to bash the writers about how lazy the ending is. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. No, because this motherfucker jumps the shark. When I say jumps the shark, there was rails, and then they were just flying through the fucking air. She goes and she's like, we've got to change this. I don't like the ending. So they go, oh no, Kevin made the ending. And I go, holy fucking shit. No. Don't tell. You got to talk to Kevin. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Are you fucking serious? Kevin inserted himself into this fucking pile of shit. So she breaks into Marvel headquarters, fucking fights a bunch of people, and fucking Kevin's a robot. And in a direct ripoff from the fucking Matrix, there's screens of all the Marvel properties. What the fuck is happening right now? I honestly thought I thought that I
you went into a different dimension, alternate universe.
I thought I clicked on the wrong thing. I thought I had fucked up and clicked another show. And I'm like, and then Kevin, a fucking robot, steps out with Kevin Feige's voice modulated, talking about, well, what don't you like about that one? And then the funniest line ever, she goes, we've been a straight-laced show. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, I can't handle this anymore. So, you've been lying to yourself in universe through whatever. And so, Kevin rewinds the scene. And the bad guy admits he's a misogynist and turns himself over to the police. Daredevil drops through the fucking ceiling.
Out of fucking nowhere.
Because they just gotta fuck up Daredevil more. Daredevil drops from the fucking ceiling. And he's like, I'm here to help you. And she's like, the fight's over. Oh my God. See, it's funny, but not in the way I think they intended it to be. Daredevil drops from the fucking ceiling.
I can't even process the words that are coming out of your mouth right now.
Daredevil drops from the fucking ceiling. He says, I'm here to save the day. And she's like, fight's over. So the big fight was just a redo. And they sit down for family dinner. And Daredevil comes over for family dinner. Not in his Daredevil costume. Thank the good fucking Lord, because I couldn't take any more at this point. And you say to yourself, it can't get worse. This is what they can do because there's 5 seconds left. But no, it gets worse. It's fucking worse. Hulk walks in with the worst 3D rendered sun I've ever seen. In his Hulk form. Because I'm sure at family dinner, just everybody knows. So he walks in the front door as the fucking Hulk. With a kid from out of nowhere. Says he's been on the car. And then there's stuff happening there. And she looks at the camera and says, well, it looks like this is for season 2. Please fucking God, no. I have seen so many bad season finals in my life. Dexter used to be number 1 in Game of Thrones, but this is the worst fucking season final I think I've ever seen in the history of watching. And everyone who was on my show, you know, I watch a lot of shows, movies. I am telling you, out of everything I've watched in 37 years of my life, this is the worst final I have seen, bar none. I can confidently say, if you say, what's the worst season final you've ever seen in your life? I don't have to think about it. So let me ask you as a writer, as I'm describing this to you, and I swear to God, if you guys don't believe me, skip all of She-Hulk, just watch the ending.
I'm gonna have to, because I can't even process that what you said to me as true. Like, this is not the reality I have to live in, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that stupid bitch. She crashes through the wall in this battle that doesn't happen for no reason. She's
So okay. I still can't process it. But my
okay.
question,
Let's try to make sense of this.
so my question is, was the entire show slap happy stupid like this?
No, it was just terrible stupid.
Okay.
This took it to the level of just about parody of what a bad Marvel show would be.
Okay. Because that's what I'm wondering. Because this sounds like a parody when you're talking about it. And so my question is, if there were some serious elements and a lot of seriousness within the story, even if it was stupid, why would they go with a slap happy Jim Carrey ending like that?
That's the thing. It was never serious. There was never a good moment. There was good scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the Daredevil episode was the first competent episode. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't great. It wasn't even. It was barely good. It was just competent. The rest of the series, Jay, has been like this. Like from beginning to end, the show has been terrible humor. Okay, She-Hulk torqued with Megan the Stallion.
Ugh.
That's what we're dealing with here.
So then my next question is, how the fuck is the comic book written?
Not like this.
They have the source material.
It was the worst season final I think I've ever seen. Like, hands down. And then I went to see Halloween Ends. And I'm like, well, fuck, by comparison, this is a fucking masterpiece. Because Halloween Ends, they just made weird choices that made it really a fucking odd decision to go the way they go. Hulk was terrible ending. Like, Kevin Feige as a robot.
Like, why?
I don't know who the villain was. We're at the very end. I have no clue who the villain was. Apparently it was the fans the whole time. I don't know what the point was. I don't know why I wasted like 3 hours of my life in total. I'm never getting the 20 minutes back.
Oh.
It's only 20 minutes and it was the toughest 20 minutes of my life. Like, talking about Halloween Ends and how confusing it was when they just did the jarring thing. It was like that, but times 30, to a point where I was like, just staring at my screen going, get the fuck out of here.
Like,
This isn't that. No, this is that. Have you become so ballsy, Marvel, that you just like, we could put out the shittiest final ever conceived by a show and people will still fucking defend it?
Like, I just
Anybody who defends this, you're a fucking moron. I can't take you serious as a reviewer. I can't. If you can look at me with a straight face and go, yeah, that's where I was hoping it was all leading to. Kevin fucking resetting the whole fucking episode.
Like, the audacity. Like, I just want to be like, do you own all this audacity or do you rent it? Because this shit is fucking foul.
I was just like, oh my god. I gotta say, and I said this to Bitchy earlier, the writer I know it's a female, but she must have the biggest set of balls
Uh-huh.
that has ever been. Because it was ballsy. If you told me when I first started watching this, if you said to me that was going to be the final, I would have looked at you and said, "There's no fucking way it'd be that bad. Like, this is bad, but it could pull it back." Christ. It's, and I had to talk about it because I'm like, I'm going to have another person on this channel, who's very cool, a good reviewer, and we talked about it after a stream with Perp. Salute Perp, saw you in the chat,
Hi,
and
Perp.
we said, you know what, we got to do a review of this, but I want to get his thoughts on it now because we already thought this show was shit, and I could just picture if I was looking at my screen baffled what Rashad must have thought when he got to the end of this show, because holy fucking shit. Me saying it out loud and people listening, you're probably saying to yourself, that's not the ending. They couldn't possibly end it like that. Nope, that's it.
Well, the sad thing is, Don, that as soon as you started telling me about it, there was not a doubt in my mind that that was truly the ending. So just because of the arrogance that Marvel has had lately and the audacity, and it's just, I was not at all surprised, but also confused.
Everybody in this chat laughed because they're like, it can't be that bad. And I promise you, chat, you don't even have to watch all of She-Hulk. Just watch the final episode, and you'll get an idea of the rest of the show. People are telling me, oh, but the first episode, no, the first episode was not good. Okay, all of you Marvel fans live in this delusional land. It was never good. The first episode made no sense from the beginning. Like, how the fuck did their car get blown up and Hulk just happens to wear this device that cuts him open and mixes with her blood? And on top of that, it was never confirmed that worked. People tried the blood transfusion and they turned all fucked up. So how did it work for her? And I just took it as, okay, she's related to the Hulk.
Right.
Bullshit MacGuffin. Just poor writing. But it doesn't get any better. It just gets fucking worse. They can't do courtroom shit. They can't do superhero shit. But yet they made a courtroom superhero movie.
Yeah.
How the fuck did you pick this team? They admitted. They said they can't do courtroom dramas in an interview. And they had no interest in Marvel superhero shit. So why were they good for this job?
Maybe that's what made them perfect for the joke of a show that they were writing.
And this could have been good. Look, I like She-Hulk in the comics. I've always liked She-Hulk. I think she's a cool inverse because unlike Bruce Banner, she can control a transformation or whatever. But no, Wakanda Forever looks shitty. Don't fall for the trap, Rose. It's a trap. That movie's gonna be a fucking shit show. The first one was mediocre at best. Okay? And now you don't even have the person who carried it on their back. And you're going to swap it out with a female Black Panther. I can guarantee you there are going to be so many pissed off people. And I'm not saying it's because a female's taking the role, so everybody's going to be like, oh, you're sexist. Shut the fuck up. That's not it. I'm saying it feels disrespectful that you are blatantly replacing somebody. And I feel bad for what's his name, Richard Coogler or whatever. He seems like a nice guy who had a really good relationship with Chadwick Boseman, and my heart goes out to him. I just find it highly disrespectful to continue this series. I mean, you could have even, honestly, I'd be fine with them even doing something with Angela Bassett, which was what I thought they were leaning into. But outright replacing it and then gender swapping Black Panther as well, I don't know. Everybody's in for a letdown, just like Thor: Love and Thunder called that shit. People still defending it. Fucking horrible movie. That movie I almost walked out of. But you know what? I'll say this. After seeing She-Hulk, Thor: Love and Thunder is a fucking 10. Because holy shit. Like, as ridiculous and stupid as that movie was, It could have been so much worse. Jesus, like, look, I liked Miss Marvel till about the last 2 episodes.
It seems
Just
like a theme.
last 2 episodes just fucked it up for me. I liked Moon Knight. I thought it was criminally underrated. Last episode kind of went off the rails, but it was fine.
Mm,
I would have been interested. Oscar Isaac was fucking perfect. But instead of like working on a season 2 for that, you put this shit out. Why?
right.
I mean, I just it's frustrating. Black Panther Wakanda Forever I think looks okay, but I don't think it should have been made. Exactly my point. I don't think it looks okay at all. I think it looks like they're just showing what's not going to offend people.
Yeah.
But that last scene where they had a female Black Panther, I don't think that's going to play well. I think the best choice would have maybe let Killmonger take the role, or I don't know, somebody else. But I think that you're going to see a lot of people on the internet, and that's not necessarily me. I genuinely hate Black Panther. Like the
Mm,
original, don't like it. Think it's garbage. But even for me, who was not crazy about the first film, it feels very disgusting. I mean,
mhm.
just from it feels gross.
Yeah.
I and I feel for the director because he was probably working on 2,
Yeah.
from what I heard. And you can't help if your actor passes away under tragic circumstances, but I feel at that point you should give it a while before you do this. Like, look at the time frame. Like, did they need to rush it out now?
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Because I don't know anything. Like I know bare minimum information, but people were talking about how um his sister does take over the Black Panther mantle in the comics temporarily, but then gives it back to him. So I don't really know. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but either way, it doesn't matter. Like it definitely feels way too soon. And like you said, like rushing it out right now, I don't understand. I mean, I get like as somebody that was an actress and in theater and all these things, like I get that the show must go on, but there's I feel like better ways to do it, better timing mechanisms to do it. I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like just a poor way to rush it. And I'll be honest with you, Sean, I have no hopes for Avengers 5 or 6. It feels like they're forcing this whole female Avengers symbol kind of thing, and it doesn't feel organic. It felt like an Endgame where they put that one scene in there that didn't make sense with all of the females gathering, and then you have fucking like Mantis and Black Widow there against an army of Thanos' people, and you're like, okay, I get some of the people like Valkyrie or someone who has powers that can fight them, but what the fuck is Mantis gonna do? She puts people to sleep. Like, why is she in the front of the bed? It's because you want that one shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it doesn't feel organic, and that's my issue. And that's the problem with She-Hulk. Like, maybe you could do a show about a lawyer who's a female who goes through some shit like sexism and stuff like that, and she becomes a hero, and she has to deal with being compared to her male counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
That could work if you didn't have incompetent writers.
Yeah, like if you did it right so that it came across better than just feminist agenda being pushed because of what?
Reasons at
Mm-hmm.
this point, because this shit isn't selling. Like, I've seen this bullshit like She-Hulk is the highest rated. No, it's not. I barely review it. I know people are barely talking about it. I know the final got a lot of traction because it's so stupid that it's unbelievable,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not for the reasons you guys think. And it's like, this isn't working. And to be honest, the last couple of movies did not do that well. Thor: Love and Thunder way underperformed. And I know this, and people can argue with me. I know it for a fucking fact because I work at the theater and I've seen the numbers. It did poor comparatively to every other Marvel. It was our worst Marvel movie that we had in the theaters. We pulled it a week early. We've never done that.
It's almost like everything is collapsing over there and they're trying to do everything they can and just throwing everything at the wall and hoping something sticks. That's what it feels like a sinking ship.
Yeah, Planet Q's Queen. At this point, I'm about that Smurf porn. But yeah, it's been a weird, confusing ride. So just picture, I described that whole finale to you, right? And that's honest to God, blow by blow, the finale. Now picture watching that and then going into Halloween. Maybe that's why I got sick today. My mind just couldn't process everything.
Like you couldn't even breathe while you were trying to tell me about it. Like it freaking broke your brain.
I was laughing, but because it was so stupid, my mind couldn't handle that. Out of everything I could have ever predicted for a season final, oh, it's surprising. Not in the way you think, but yeah, I was shocked.
I was shocked.
If you told me 7 episodes ago this is where we were heading, I would have called you crazy. Oh, next show, anything could happen.
On that note, I think I'm gonna get off of here though. I'm done.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off too because I'm not feeling well, and I spent an hour on Halloween, you guys. Everyone who joins, you can backtrack through and see my actual Halloween review. I just had to get that rant out of the way because I got to give you context to why I'm on the fence about this movie. Because after coming out of She-Hulk, I was like, yeah, it didn't flow, but it wasn't She-Hulk. So
anything's better than She-Hulk at this point.
So my reviews might be skewed for the next week because anything I fucking watched.
Your brain is fucking broken trying to process the fuck you just watched.
I'm broken. Marvel broke me.
It finally happened.
Like, I don't have a rating low enough for this final. I really don't. Like, if I gave it a 0, I would be insulting everything that's a 0. And that's not a lot, people. There's nothing egregiously bad where I go, nope, fucking 0. But this show, fucking 0. 0 out of 10. Fuck She-Hulk.
Do not recommend.
It's the worst fucking thing ever created. Like, The Room is a masterpiece compared to this. Like, it's bad. It's fucking bad. But with Halloween Ends, I would say you're in for another ride. This one will have at least a pleasant stop, depending on who you are. So I would say go into it with lower expectations and, be open to what could happen. You got anything coming up or anything you want to promote before we get out of here?
No, not really. We're still fighting through this whole cancer situation, dealing with all of that and finances and stressors and blended family stressors and, just work drama. And it's just a whole compilation of bullshit that we're just kind of dealing with. But other than that, we're good. I've been writing here and there. Not much going on. If anybody wants to donate a cup of coffee, I greatly appreciate it. If not, that's fine too. It's never expected. Always appreciated. I'm always grateful if anybody does decide to donate. I dropped my YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know, I'm pretty sure everybody here knows me, but I dropped my YouTube channel. I also dropped my Amazon links if anybody wants to read the books that are out there. Right now, I'm just focusing on reworking book 2 of my Terracona saga, finishing book 1 of my Dark Walker saga. And then I still have all 6 of those books at my editor that I'm waiting to hear back on. And I'm in the process. I'm really excited because part of the reason why I haven't been on camera is because my office is torn the fuck apart right now. But I'm starting to paint and get everything organized. So hopefully soon I'll be able to turn my camera back on and feel comfortable after I finally get my space together. One step at a time. Progress is progress, So.
And thank you, Lemon Pie. I wasn't sure how the purple would flow, but yeah.
It does
Might
look
have to
cool.
shoot some videos in here. I might be doing it for tomorrow too. My stomach's been really bad, but thank you guys for the support. I appreciate it because um, I didn't reach my full rant for that She-Hulk because my body won't let me. But trust me, on the inside, Hulk smash.
I was gonna say that was pretty mild compared to your normal rants.
Yeah. Like it's one of those things where it's so stupid that when I say it out loud, it makes me laugh. When I was watching it, I was laughing. It's just so bad that it gets me beyond the point of anger. It goes to the point of I can't believe money was actually put into this. Someone shot this. They saw all the takes and they said, "Yep, we got our final." Fire everybody. Fucking fire everyone. The editor, everybody. Everybody fucked up because it went through a fuck of a lot of approvals. And everybody who approved the script should be fired. Everybody who approved the final, when they look at the final cut, they should be fired. Just everyone needs to be let go. This is shockingly bad. So, yeah, but Halloween is not that bad. I just think it's an interesting take, maybe a little bit too late in the trilogy, and give it a go yourself and see where you land. I am going to be doing my next review. I will be a little bit happier depending on how it ends because it's very depressing. But I've been watching this show called The Midnight Club. It is a fucking magnificent show. Brilliant acting. Um, it's got the saddest fucking story ever. These kids are all dying of cancer, like terminal. They're done dying of cancer. Not we might recover, and they all go to this like hospice to live together and live out their final days how they want to, and they start this book thing called the Midnight Club where they tell a bunch of stories, but the stories actually are little details about their lives as well as being horror stories. So it's very intricate and you learn about the characters through them telling these tales and you get attached to people and there is death and there was I'm not gonna lie that you got choked up on quite a few scenes, especially when you find out why characters are the way they are, and it's just a fucking good show. Mike Flanagan is awesome. God bless that man for saving me when I have a week of this shit. If you have not watched it, please go to Netflix and check out The Midnight Club. It is fantastic. So far, I'm at a 9 out of 10. I just want to see how it ends. But every episode has been a solid 9. It is fucking great from beginning to end. I'm really loving it. It's so brilliantly written, and it's weird because it's a YA book.
Oh.
And Mike Flanagan does not do that. Like if you've seen Midnight Mass or Haunting of Hill House or Haunting of Bly Manor, he's a very adult person, but he takes that and the teenagers talk like normal people. He doesn't like try to do the whole I'm hip and I got the slang
Yeah.
down. They just fucking talk like kids. Like you buy these are teenage kids. It's so brilliantly done. Go check it out, and I'll have a review up. It's just 10 episodes and they're an hour a piece. And if you guys couldn't tell, I'm doing a lot of shit for Halloween. So I'm also going to have a review up for Terrifier 2, which I will have a warning, but I would recommend that movie if you've seen the first movie and you like it, because holy fucking shit. That will be the goriest movie of the year that I've seen. Holy fucking shit. But yeah, I got that coming out and a couple of other things through October for horror. So pay attention. I just wanted to get this out first because this is the biggest thing out right now. And then I'm going to be doing a review on The Menu, which is by far one of the most brilliant horror movies to come out this year. It's just great. I saw Violent Night and I don't know, looks fun to me. So I might go and see that because, Santa Claus killing people. Fuck yeah. Sign me up. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff coming. Thank you to my sponsors, moviepalette.com. Go check out Movie Palette so you can get a movie palette of Halloween if that's your jam. And if you enter code ZONE15, you'll get 15% off all purchases. And it is a way to support the channel because YouTube's being the dick and they don't want to monetize me yet. So if you like my content and you want to help me out, you can go there, check it out. Go check out Jay. If you are inclined, go donate and help Jay out because she's always been here on the channel and she's a really good friend of ours and brings a little balance to my wackiness. So anyways, thank you everybody for watching. I will be on tomorrow night for late night talks where we will talk about articles and shenanigans. And I'll have Pop Culture PB and Cyber Husky, I think. We'll see what he's doing. And, a couple of other guests. And I'll be doing interviews with Justin Proper. We'll talk spoilers for Halloween Ends. If you are on the fence of the movie, we'll be doing a spoiler about it. Probably not today. I'm going to wait over the weekend so people have a chance to see it. And I'm even talking to Killjoy Jake. Want to see if I can get him on the channel to talk about Halloween Ends because it sounds like he fucking hated the movie. So that'll be an interesting. Like, I never hear him badmouth something, but I don't think he liked it at all. So it'll be. I look forward to having different perspectives. So we'll be talking, I'm sure, about this movie for a couple of months because it's going to be very polarizing. So thank you everybody for watching. This has been my non-spoiler review with /spoiler rant about She-Hulk. If you enjoyed both of them, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you were new and you're like, who's this cool guy with a purple light and a cowboy hat? Bam! You can get more stuff with me, and everybody have a good evening. Remember the only rule here in the fandom zone: kneel before the power of feminist She-Hulk.